C-SPAN. But if you want to be in the room when we go live from Los Angeles, Tuesday, June 18th, head to KBLA1580.com right now to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. With KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I believe up there. Hey!
I do my money dance and laugh all the way to the bank on these roots.
I jump up on the stage and do my money dance. I throw some money up and watch the money land. I do my money dance. I do my money dance. I jump up on the stage and do my money dance. I throw some money up and watch the money land. I do my money dance. I do my money dance. I jump up on the stage and do my money dance. I throw some money up and watch the money land. I fell in love when I touched my first 100 grand. I fell in love when I touched my first 100 bands. And now
Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
And I'm so excited because our entrepreneurs of late have been coming into the studio and hanging out with me, which is way more fun. And this young lady I've been looking forward to talking with. I met her at the Hawthorne Business Expo and was so impressed by her business. She's always loved fashion, but she never knew she'd start a business around fashion. One day she was looking to get her own designer bags cleaned and couldn't find a company that did it. She decided to learn everything she needed to know to clean and preserve her own designer bag. Her friends were impressed. We hear this so often with these businesses. They kept coming to her, asking her to restore their bags, and that is when she decided to establish Shay's Specialty Purse Cleaning Services and Repair business way back in 2007. Shay Conley, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you in. So you love fashion. I mean, you're in here looking kind of jazzy at, 7 o'clock in the morning. But you never thought you would go into anything related to it, let alone luxury bags. But it's working well, right?
Yes, it's working. Tell you the truth, if it was not for this purse business, I don't know financially where I would be. Because as we all know, 9 to 5 just doesn't cut it. Yeah. So we definitely have to have something to do on the side.
Especially in LA, right? Where it's
Especially
so expensive.
in LA.
But you were, before you started your business, were you 9 to 5?
Yes.
You were. And we always hear, do the thing that all your friends are bugging you to do for them, that talent you have, that side hustle, turn it into a business. I'm sure it wasn't easy at first, though, right?
No, it was not easy. It actually, the hardest part was learning to make the colors, to restore the bags.
Make the colors.
I became a mini chemist. That was my biggest fear, was to try to match a manufacturer's color.
And then ruin the purse, right? And someone would have a whole fit.
Thank God I never did.
That's a good thing you're a master chemist.
Yes.
So the process of learning how to do what you did for your own bags consistently and well for others was step one. And then, I have a feeling, I've never seen like any ads or billboards for your company, but I have a feeling there's a lot of word of mouth on this.
You know what? You're absolutely right. I really don't advertise. I just have a website. My work, I just do excellent work, and it's word of mouth.
Yeah, and so, okay, speaking of that website, it's shayspurse.com, SHAYS pursecleaner.com. And the reason I say that is because I know how people are. I should say how women are, right? My girlfriends. We find a service like this that's something we've needed and didn't know we needed.
Right.
Everyone going to tell everyone. So I imagine you probably have waiting lists and all kind of stuff at this point.
Well, yes, I do. And what I did was I approached dry cleaners in the beginning. So basically, when the women come in to drop off their clothes, there's counter posters that states we're now cleaning designer handbags. So I figured I would get most of my customers from there. And I was right, because as of today, I work with probably 10 to 12 dry cleaners.
So the dry cleaners are sending them to you?
That's right.
That's bizarre.
Well, actually, yeah. Basically, the women come in, they drop off their clothes, they realize that they're cleaning purses, they leave their bags. Dry cleaners call me, and I come in and knock it out, bring them back.
Because they want them clean and restored, right?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just cleaning. A lot of times it is restoration because of the colors wearing out at the bottoms. There's makeup inside. I actually start with the interior and work my way out. Actually, I'm more of a detailer. I consider myself a purse detailer.
I love that so much.
Because I address every inch of the bag. When you get your bag back, it looks like new.
You know, they say find a need and fill it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Supposed to be the business model. And here's something, okay, if you don't carry a purse, you might not understand this. You know, and I know there's Merces now. There's man purses. You doing any of those?
Yes.
Yeah, the men are bringing them too.
And you know what? When I first started the business, I was getting a lot of phone calls from men, and I couldn't understand it. They were calling in for their wives, but then it dawned on me, they bought the bags.
They know how much they cost.
They spent $5,000 on this purse, and then they're looking at it like, wait, what happened with this purse? They would actually get on the phone and call me and say, hey, my wife needs her bag cleaned. But that kind of calmed down as the years went by.
But that's pretty awesome, and it makes sense.
Yes.
So, and you're right. These purses are, I mean, I don't have multi-$1,000 purses, but a lot of women do.
Yes.
And even the ones that I have that are multi-hundreds of dollars, you know, I want them to last.
Right.
So how does this work if I'm not a dry cleaner? I know you've got shayspursecleaner.com. I'm on the site right now. How do we get your services?
Well, basically, you go to my website and you give me a call or an email. And if you're local, I will have you drop your bag off at most likely Susie K's Dry Cleaners on 3rd and Fairfax. That's the drop off. And if you're from out of state, if you're from out of state, I'm having people ship their bags to Shay's at 269 South Beverly Drive in Beverly Hills. So either way, I'll get the bag. I will call the customer when I get the bag in my possession and go over it and let them know exactly what I intend to do and how much it's going to cost. So, yeah, it's really cut and dry.
And you get it done and you ship it back?
Right.
Or they pick it back up at Susie K's or wherever?
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Simple,
cut and dry.
simple.
Yes.
And the number is 323-807-0435. Don't call until business hour, 323-807-0435. Of course, this goes up on our YouTube, and I usually put all the contact info on our YouTube,
Okay.
KBLA 1580. So that's
awesome.
That's a great place. Now, you've been doing this since 2007, restoration, repair, cleaning, luxury handbags. Where do you go from here?
That's a good question. Where do I go from here? Well,
what's your dream? Like, where would you like to take this?
Well, my dream would be, my goal is to one day own a purse cleaners. Instead of clothes hanging on those converter belts, there will be handbags.
So it'd just be scaling up to having
Yes.
your own
Purse
your own
cleaner.
brick and mortar
Yes.
purse cleaner. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, keep us posted, because it seems to me that you definitely will get there. And I guess, seems simple, but it's not so simple. You are also licensed and insured, right?
Of course.
A lot of folks,
course.
But a lot of black businesses, I hate to stereotype, but we don't necessarily have all those paperwork pieces in place. I imagine handling purses worth thousands, you have to be.
That's right. I have $1 million liability insurance. Way too much, but I want to be covered.
Right.
Yeah. In case anything happens, I would definitely replace the bag.
And you can even it says you replace the trim and piping and zippers and restore the color, remove animal urine scents. Wow, I didn't know that was a problem.
A lot of women are carrying their little
The
cats and dogs
in the
inside of the
bags.
luxury bags.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I get a lot of that.
Wow, doggy went poop in the bag. Okay, never thought about that. Also, you are committed to a green friendly approach, right?
Yes, the product that I use is non-toxic. There's no fumes. It gently cleans the material. It doesn't change the texture.
So if you want to put your dog back in the bag,
It's safe.
It's safe. You're just going to have to save your money to bring it back to Shay next time they go to the bathroom in your purse.
That's right.
The
That's
things
right.
you learn on this show.
Yeah.
So what do you want? What I'm so thankful to meet you. Great meeting you at the Hawthorne Business Expo. Thank you, Council Member Katrina Manning,
Yes.
for making that happen. I want to ask you what you want us to know about your business, what you came in here that you wanted to make sure you said before you left. I'm so appreciative that you came in. I'm so impressed with your business model because there's something that is much needed.
Yes,
And
it
you
is.
filled this need and people are responding, and I'm confident that you will get your own spot. So what do you want to make sure we know before you leave us this morning?
I just want all the women to know that there is a place to take your bag, to have it cleaned. We just don't think to clean our purses. We clean sweaters, coats, and all these other things, but we don't think to clean the purse. I just want you guys to know that I exist, I'm here, and I put love into my work, and you will see it when you get your purse back. It's just all about restoring the purse.
I got several for you. They're not thousands of dollars, but they're important to me.
Right.
ShaysPurseCleaner.com, ShaysPurseCleaner.com. Let's give this sister some even more business so that
Yes.
she can get that brick and mortar and we can say we helped make that happen on First Things First.
All right.
Yes, indeed. It is truly a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Dominique. It's
Shay
a pleasure to be
Conley.
here.
Yes, indeed. All right. It's great time to call me, 800-920-1580. This is what we do around here, Wealth Building Wednesday, and then let's talk about it. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California. Home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising@KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
Girl, I have a secret. When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelly mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
So you just used bug spray in your home. Now what? Well, between the waiting and waiting for things to dry up and keeping your family away from the mess, it hits you. You could have used Zevo. Unlike other bug sprays that stick around, Zevo goes from kill to clean in seconds. Plus, it's safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
And appreciating you, always 800-920-1580. That's the number to call if you want to get in on this. Kwamel says, does she do shoes too? I will ask her in a moment because we're getting ready to do a little video back here, a little something. But man, oh man, are you guys tracking this Trump trial? I think yesterday was the day that we were supposed to see Michael Cohen, Trump's former fixer, who's been described as being a real jerk when he worked for Trump. Surprise, surprise. Get roasted on the stand and discredited from the reporting I saw and what I read. He was able to maintain his cool, his big moment here, and has been a pretty effective witness by all accounts, which is a bit surprising. But in a way, you wonder if it matters because, I mean, they're either going to believe him or they're not. But there's so much other evidence. The paper trail is quite impressive. Looking at a few things going on around the nation, the White House says they are concerned because Russia's had a bunch of victories in the war in Ukraine, that they've got this new technology that's helping to overcome U.S. weaponry, and that they are benefiting or have benefited from the United States taking 100 years to approve that aid, which we did approve, the Congress did approve, to the tune of $61 billion. That makes my toes curl when I think about all the needs of folks here in this country. However, they're saying that they are concerned that Russia could be turning the tide and may even have enough momentum to win, whatever that looks like. That in recent days, they've opened a new push near the second biggest city in Ukraine, which is Kharkiv, and they are pushing the envelope on Ukraine, army, which is short-staffed. Of course, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken was there on yesterday, reassuring the Ukrainian president that the United States continues to stand with them. So the new polling, though, doesn't seem to, it seems like no one cares. Like the first U.S. president ever to be on trial for a criminal case, because we know that Trump has already been on trial in civil cases and lost, it's a big deal. And even though there's no cameras in the courtroom, it's being widely reported. In fact, some are arguing reported to the point where they're ignoring the things the actual president is doing, President Biden. But this new polling shows people don't care. He's behind in the polls. We just saw a poll come out yesterday, behind in 5 battleground states. According to Axios, Biden is in denial about this. He thinks that these are flukes or that they're wrong, and that's a problem. Because you got to, I mean, to me, even if you're polling ahead, you got to run like you're losing, right? That's what we see from the seasoned politicians like Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who typically and easily wins her elections with 80% plus of the vote. And yet she runs like she's behind. The president, according to insiders, and this is in this Axios article, says that the president and his circle, his team, his advisors, think the polls are wrong. They think that the polls don't reflect the deep support that the president has. That worries me. I've been saying, and I do believe the president will win re-election. But that worries me. I think that is what undid, one of the things that undid Hillary Clinton. This idea that the polls are wrong. I'm much more popular than it seems. There's no way this joker can win. That's a recipe for a second Trump term. Today, President Biden challenged Trump to a debate, and that even seems worrisome, and I'll tell you why. I mean, I'm glad he's willing to debate him. I've said this to you, and you guys probably laugh at me. Biden is a Scorpio. He's always got more tricks up his sleeve. Just when you think he's, down and out, he gonna come with the sting. He did well against Trump last time. I think he'll do well here, but if you're already a supporter of Trump, you're going to say Trump lost no matter what. Biden stutters and all that. I get that. He's done that since he was a little kid. It's not because he's old. The reason I don't like Biden challenging Trump to a debate is because it makes it seem like you're the challenger and not the incumbent. He should be coming to you. So it's weird. You're in denial about the guy being ahead of you at the polls, but yet you're acting like you're behind in the polls by saying, make my day, which is literally what the president said. He said, quote, Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hasn't shown up for a debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. And that is also unusual because typically the presidential debates take place closer to election, right? The election's not till November. They're saying they may go toe to toe as early as June, and so maybe they're not as much in denial as we think because maybe this is his way. They're just pretending they're in. I don't know. It's too deep for me, but I hope they're paying attention and understanding that they definitely could lose this. Here's a story that's been a little, I think, underreported in all the hubbub. This one from the New York Times. Former President Trump may owe $100 million in taxes. $100 million, more than most people or corporations will make in their entire lifetime. And that is because he had these buildings, this building, I guess, called the Chicago Tower, which turned out to be a big money pit. It's a 92-story glass skyscraper right along the Chicago River. And it was the tallest construction project ever done by the former president, his final one before the presidency. And apparently it went over budget. And then he tried to open it during the Great Recession. It lost a ton of money. So what he did is he wrote it off of his taxes. With some special tax definition code, which I've never heard of, which, because I'm not a big baller like that, which says the building is worthless. It actually categorizes his asset as worthless because of the debt and saying he would never see a profit on it. So get this, he wrote off $651 million in losses. He wrote that off his taxes. $651 for that 1 year. This is according to ProPublica and the New York Times. And they're saying most experts were surprised that the IRS was like, oh, okay, you lost $651 million. No problem, dude. Like they didn't even bat an eye. Usually when you write off, apparently, not that I would know this, but usually apparently when you write off that much money, they will double check it. Was it 649? Was it 651? Anyway, he does this, gets away with it, no big deal. But then they go back for another bite at the apple. In 2010, they wanted to write the same building off again. So what they did is they transferred the ownership of the building from one company to another company. Now, both of these companies are owned by DJT, right? So he moves the so-called worthless property from one shell corporation to another, and then uses that transfer to say that he lost another $168 million. And that is what tripped him up. He could have gotten away with the 651, but no, he needed another 168 million. So now the IRS, apparently they've been investigating this for years. They went through all these special and extraordinary measures because he's a former president. News, traffic, and sports, then more on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The National Transportation Safety Board is releasing a preliminary report on the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. According to the report, the cargo ship, the Dolly, was leaving the Baltimore harbor. The report states the cargo ship, the Dolly, was leaving the Baltimore harbor on March 26 when it lost electrical power and propulsion before striking a support pier, causing the bridge to collapse and killed 6 construction workers. Civil rights icon and pastor Reverend William Lawson is dead at the age of 95. Lawson, who is black, worked with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. during the civil rights movement, also helping to desegregate Houston, Texas in the 1960s. He founded Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church in 1962, serving as its pastor until retiring in 2004. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save money on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Again, that's Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Aloha, Dodgers Nation. Purchase a Hawaiian shirt night ticket pack for Monday, May 20th at 7:10 p.m. against the Diamondbacks and get an exclusive Hawaiian shirt. Don't miss out on this NL West battle. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/ticketpack.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Bronny James didn't talk to the media the entire season at USC, and he gave no interviews during his senior year at Sierra Canyon High School. LeBron's son had a lot to say Tuesday during a crowded media session at the NBA Scouting Combine in Chicago. First of all, he said he doesn't want people to just think of him as LeBron's son. Second, he said it's not his mindset to play with his father in the NBA. Bronny said his main focus is just to get to the league. Bronny's comments were clearly different from his father, who has a not-so-secret desire to play with his son in the NBA. Bronny is one of 78 players at the NBA Combine. He's trying to make a good enough impression to be selected in the NBA Draft on June 26. In his first 5-on-5 scrimmage Tuesday, Bronny made 2 of 8 shots to finish with 4 points and 4 rebounds in 19 minutes. The Combine continues through Sunday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans, and we'll help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So, if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. Visit jpmorganchase.com/racial equity and get the tools to help reach your financial goals.
So you just used bug spray in your home. Now what? Well, between the waiting and waiting for things to dry up and keeping your family away from the mess, it hits you. You could have used Zevo. Unlike other bug sprays that stick around, Zevo goes from kill to clean in seconds. Plus, it's safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms: irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I'm going out with the girls this weekend. Nails done, outfit stunner, and my skin? I know it's gonna be glowing because I glammed up my shower routine with new Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash. It smells so luxurious and moisturizes deep into my skin with its super rich, creamy lather that's bursting with vitamin B3. So my skin glows and my confidence grows. Try new Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash for glowing skin in just 14 days.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Yes, indeed. Shay does do shoes, Kwamel. She does shoes too, belts, hats, all that designer stuff that we spent way too much money on. She can make it look like new again. Paul Lee adding the quote, "I've received and accepted an invitation from CNN for a debate on June 27th. Over to you, Donald." Yeah, I love that. I know you all think because Trump is a Gemini and he's so, telegenic, I don't know, good at chicanery and spectacle, that he'll mop up the floor with Biden. I don't think so. I think actually Biden's going to beat him. Right now, though, we've got James Farr joining us. He'll be joining us right at the 7:36 mark, while Dr. Melina Abdullah versus the LAPD trial is ongoing. That is wrapping up on the 22nd, we understand, of May. James Farr, good morning. James, of course, you know him from the LA Progressive and the Conversation Live. Hi, James.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you?
I'm blessed. It sounds like it was quite an eventful day on yesterday.
A rather long day, but finally a jury has been selected. There are obviously a total of 12, 6 women, 6 men, 2 alternates, and one of the alternates is an African-American male.
So the main jury's white. all white at
Well,
this point.
they're not white. I mean,
Oh,
they're not black.
Okay, it's an LA
So,
variety pack is what you're saying.
like LA.
Yeah, got it. Okay, and a few other important things happened yesterday. It sounds like the court support is strong for Dr. Abdullah.
Court support is really strong. I mean, it was a full house, folks from various different organizations and just, some members of Black Lives Matter Grassroots, BLM LA, just a coalition of court support. Folks are pulling shifts. They're sitting in the court. They're taking notes. They're there to support Dr. Abdullah with love, prayers, and the like. So it was an eventful day.
So you noted that the judge it sounded like not happy, or was it just a note about the court support?
Well, the judge did. I mean, he wants to make sure he's aware of the court support. He admonished the gallery outside of the presence of the jury that he was aware of the flyers for court support. And he just wanted to make sure folks understood court etiquette, court decorum, things like you can't take pictures in the courtroom, in the courthouse, things like that. And so he did ask someone to delete pictures. I think he sent the message that this is not a protest. This is not a demonstration. Folks in the gallery need to just be present, listen, observe, and that's it.
I'm surprised that someone was dumb enough to take a picture because, most of the people that are there that are activists know that. They've provided court support for families whose loved ones were killed by police and all of that kind of stuff. But I guess maybe there are some folks that weren't experienced there. And we saw opening arguments, right?
Yeah, but let me just say, I wouldn't say dumb, right? I think what happened is there's a little bit of excitement and exuberance in supporting Dr. Abdullah, and perhaps they may have never been into a courtroom. And so there's a spectrum of people who are there. But yes, opening arguments did begin yesterday. The plaintiff and the defense both had a chance to kind of lay out what we're going to be looking at. Dr. Abdullah's case, they explained what the day looked like, how it started, kind of what the scene and environment was, whereas the defense I think we're going to see a defense more of they were just doing their jobs and this was public safety.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
So it's what I got from the, a couple of notes that you sent me is that they were, like you said, they're saying we're focused on public safety. They played the 911 call and they're claiming that Dr. Melina Abdullah wanted special treatment. How did that play out?
Well, they after Dr. Abdullah finally exited her home, hands up, clearly visible. One of the officers remarked that Dr. Abdullah asked, "Do you know who I am?" Well, that's kind of what is all coming into question, right? Did they know that they were at Dr. Abdullah's house? When did they know that they were at Dr. Abdullah's house? And then how did they handle it going forward? And so we heard the 911 tape clearly, what the call was, what the threat was, what they believed was happening. But then they quickly, and I'm talking about the police, LAPD, quickly was coming to a conclusion that this was a hoax call. And that should have been an indicator for them to kind of stand down and deal with it a little bit differently. But of course, they chose not to. I mean, we know that the officer he Googled Dr. Abdullah. He looked at her Facebook page. He referred to her as a chick, as an organizer with Black Lives Matter or leader or something to that effect. So moments into this, they knew whose home they were at. They even made reference that these things have happened in other places.
But to be honest with you, James, I mean, I find it very hard to believe they didn't know whose house that was before they went there. And I'm going to tell you something. When you talk about special treatment, that is what the LAPD does for people who are dignitaries. I'm not saying she should have got the red carpet rolled out. She is, the leader of BLM LA. But let's talk about how elected officials and police officials and others are on special lists that these police stations have to make sure that they respond quickly. Let's say you're a city council member and you live somewhere. LAPD has you on a list of dignitaries. They do get special treatment. And if you're telling me that they didn't know that was her home, I call BS on that. I just don't buy it, number one. Number two, people who know Dr. Melina Abdullah know that she's not the type that would go, "Do you know who I am?" That's just not even how she rolls. She might have said, "Are you aware, of who I am in the context of Black Lives Matter," just to try to get an answer, because I don't see how they could not be. And then the fact that, from my understanding, neighbors were coming out. The community was coming out because the community knows that's Dr. Melina Abdullah's house and they don't want police to kill her. And at that point, even if somehow they didn't know that was her house, at that point, how did they still not know?
I saw it as a distraction, right? It's a defense that the LAPD.
He said it's a defense, not a good defense, but it's a defense.
What they're trying to do is sway what I believe, right? And Judge Birdsong has said, you can't make a conclusion until you've heard all the facts, right? So these are the things that the jury are going to have to deliberate on, right? So that's what they're playing as. She expected some sort of special treatment, and they were doing their job. But it's clear, it's been established in opening testimony that at some point during this event, both the scene commander, who was Sergeant Mackey, as well as Major Crimes and other detectives, they all knew through one, looking up running the license plate number on a vehicle outside of the home, through Mackey's admission and what we see on body-worn camera, that he Googled, he looked at her Facebook page, he kind of used some language that I don't think was appropriate to speak of our Black women, but it's neither here nor there. This is police doing police work, right? That's the line that they're drawing. But I want to point out, Dominique, this is the same thing that the jury has to sit with over the next 5 days. Right, they have to make a decision, not based upon a reasonable doubt, but a preponderance of the evidence, whether or not LAPD is at fault and what those damages are. So that's what we'll see over the next coming days.
Right. And so we'll see probably a cross-examination today of Sergeant Mackey. And I love that you said you thought the jury was really paying attention, that they were, engaged here.
The jury looked like they were dialed in. I saw some taking notes. Some kind of had some, you could see a few facial expressions. Again, this courtroom is the smallest courtroom I've ever been in. I could literally reach over and touch a juror. That's how close we are. The gallery and Dr. Melina's right there. Her proximity to the police officers is very close. I mean, they're sitting behind her, so I'm sure that's a little uncomfortable for her as well. But yes, the jury seems at this point to be locked in.
James Farr, another question. When throughout the course of the day, were there any rulings or decisions the judge made that seemed to show kind of his attitude about the case, or were there any decisions or rulings that you think could impact how it plays out, how this evidence or the information plays out?
Right now, I think it's fair to say that the judge is towing a jurist line, right? He doesn't want to show too much favor to either side, right? And so yesterday there was, they called an expert witness, Dr. Tabitha Jolivet, and took her testimony, but she's there as pastoral care. And if you know, as I know, Dr. Jolivet,
right,
her heart is just the biggest heart. And she's really expressing the how this impacted Dr. Abdullah, how she had to vacate her home for 4 or 5 months, and kind of what her mental state was in the post event. Well, the judge seemed to conclude that I guess some of the questions that they would ask an expert witness, she does not qualify for, but nonetheless, I think her testimony would be beneficial to the hearing.
So in other words, they're discounting. It sounds like the judge is discounting Dr. Jones-Jolivet's testimony, even though she is a PhD and a member of the clergy. So to me, if I can't turn to my pastor when I'm in time of crisis, and that's not considered legit, that's worrisome for me as well.
He didn't believe that Dr. Jolivet could offer any more testimony or evidence that Dr. Abdullah couldn't offer on the stand. And so it's just a qualification. I talked with the attorneys afterwards. She can still testify, but there's a qualification that would put her in a category of expert, which they would be able to ask her specific questions.
I gotcha.
So but it was very emotional. Dr. Jones, Tabitha Jolivet, rather, as you know, very passionate. I mean, her heart is there. Her support is there. And really, because you and I may not know what the confidence of those conversations and just being there with Dr. Abdullah, she described being available to her 24 hours a day to help her process and to provide her with spiritual care.
Got it. Well, James Farr, thank you so much for your reporting on this and for giving us eyes and ears inside the courtroom.
Absolutely.
You can find James Farr at James Farr Live on all platforms. It's the perfect moment to call me. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I want to clarify, Paulie, if I didn't clarify. Paul was quoting Biden. I was quoting Paul, quoting Biden. Biden saying he's accepted the debate. It's on Trump now. We'll see what happens next. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Hi, this is Quentin. A little thing I love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips are how satisfying they are. The chicken strips are amazing. They're always filling, crispy, tender, and juicy. Definitely one of my favorite things on the menu. Especially when you add in that Chick-fil-A sauce. Always the perfect combination. And then personally, you know me, I'm getting a 4 count. I want as much chicken as possible. I'm that guy. Whenever I get them, whether it be lunch or for dinner, in my household, it's always a winner.
Order the chicken strips on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customer paid for their testimonial.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, ultra soft on the potty. Less is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party vibe.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Don't shave with that, son. You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops. I'm good with Gillette's Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard anyway? You know Mama hates it.
Yeah, had it since my last wet shave in 77. Got ingrown so bad, looked like I was growing a patch of new noses.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturize, so I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer.
Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth.
Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome. We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
800-920-1580. That is the number to call. But we're going right to Paul on the phone. Thank you for your patience, Paul. You have the mic.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you doing today?
I'm blessed. What's on your mind this morning?
So I want to kind of bring some clarity to the discussion that we're talking about with a lot of these polls and what's going on, and actually how it actually ties into what's going on with the election interference case in that Trump's in New York right now with the National Enquirer and Pecker admitting that they purposely planted stories and killed stories to influence the election. So you cited the Siena, basically it's the New York Siena poll that I think was just a hit piece. And in the poll, because I look at the crosstabs, right? Then I look at, okay, what are you saying? In that poll, they polled about 391 black voters, right? Mm-hmm. And within that, 13% were between the ages of 18 to 29. In the 2020 election, Trump won the black vote by 8%.
Right.
So what you're essentially saying with those numbers is...
No, he got 8. Well, you mean he got 8% of the black vote. He didn't win by 8%. Yeah, right. He got about 8%. Okay, understood.
So what essentially that is saying is that Trump would have gained about over 1 million young black voters, which is not true. So let me tell you what they're doing. What they're essentially doing is, if you look at these primaries that's going on right now, right? Name me an incumbent that has ever essentially but in results, election results, has always been within the 60 to 70% range. You don't hear that. What's happening is there's like a built-in 25% of Republicans in their primary that aren't voting for him. And let's say if we're focused on the Electoral College, right, the elections is going to come down basically to 6 or 7 states.
Mm-hmm.
If Biden, keep it real simple, everybody. If Biden maintains Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, he's going to get to 270. Why that matters is because he's losing. Trump has already lost the suburban white woman vote. So what they're doing with publishing these polls, right, is they need to depress the vote. His base is shrinking. All Biden needs in the swing states is, they've already done the math, is 5% of those votes. If people go to the polls, Donald Trump will not get back in office. That's all I want to add.
I love your analysis, and you're always so well read on the current stories. I think that that makes sense, what you're saying, in a way. I mean, it sounds like you're assuming those pollsters are biased, which, okay. But the other thing is, I still worry, even if it's total bull, I need them to run like they're losing anyway. I don't want to hear Biden saying the polls don't mean anything, they don't matter, even if they don't. Does that make sense?
No, it does. But what's happening here is this is the Steve Bannon and Roger Stone thing that's going on here. and if you pay attention to what's going on, in the case of New York, Maggie Haberman, who's actually with the New York Times, was actually cited in the testimony being linked to the situation. Their goal is to depress the vote.
Yeah.
They need a low turnout because his base is shrinking of voters. So, yes, I agree with that. I understand everything. But if you're going based on the facts here, his base is not growing. So in the poll also.
And you're
so
talking about, of course, you're talking about Trump's base is not growing, right?
It's shrinking.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and I do believe there's erosion around the edges too. But maybe this will backfire, Paul. I hope it does, because hopefully it will alarm Biden voters and Dems to get off their butts and come out.
No, and that's 100% right. You always go as if you're losing, right? And when I hear sometimes like, no, don't worry about it. No, you go out there and you tout everything that you've done, the money that you invested. For example, most people don't know that by the Biden administration tried to give $4 billion to black farmers. Why did that get held up? That got held up because far-right conservatives, Edward Bloom, tried to hold that fund up, trying to use discrimination as a reason not to. But those same people had no smoke when Trump gave white farmers that money.
Right.
Do you see what's going on here? They're using grievance politics because the goal is to depress the vote. The only way Trump gets in office is if people don't go vote.
To be continued, Paulie. Great stuff. We have got a lot to talk about. Our special guest today, the Labor Commissioner for the state of California. We're going to talk about work and what you need to know about your own rights. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The National Transportation Safety Board is releasing a preliminary report on the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. According to the report, the cargo ship, the Dolly, was leaving the Baltimore harbor. The report states the cargo ship, the Dolly, was leaving the Baltimore harbor on March 26 when it lost electrical power and propulsion before striking a support pier, causing the bridge to collapse and killed 6 construction workers. Civil rights icon and pastor Reverend William Lawson is dead at the age of 95. Lawson, who is black, worked with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. during the civil rights movement, also helping to desegregate Houston, Texas in the 1960s.